Oh wow, your tablet's so nice.
I love it so much.
You have a nice tablet.
Yeah, it's so pretty. Yeah, it only took me, 15 years to finally get one?
Also, I'm being a very bad person.
In what way?
I'm being one of those people that's not naming any of my layers.
You're a madman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. We die like men. I have folders, but I don't have any naming of layers.
Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Do that just so I can see. Nicely, because it's very decently backlit, so you can really see it. Let's just test what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely. I don't want to. I don't want to have my webcam go toppling off my. So, not today, anyways. Let's see if I can bring that down just a little. Does that help at all?
Maybe tomorrow, but not today.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're just not going to get the right drawing.
There we go. Yeah. So it's not quite as fancy as you guys, but at least now it's not only my piece being shown, which is not what I want.
I think it fits though, because I remember the stream that we were going to do, obviously got postponed, was all about like the tools you use, so it sort of fits.
It does. Yeah, I still think we made the absolute right decision to not go live, but I was bummed because I was really excited about having that stream. So
absolutely great decision. I agree.
Okay. All right. So I just have to be careful because if I switch that over, then you can see that there. Okay. All right. I did think of something, but now I can't remember what I was going to draw. You know what? Let's just draw some Sailor Moon. I feel like that's going to be.
Yay!
I don't want to square well.
See, now you've got me peer pressured, and I feel like I need to just stop doing what I'm doing and switch over to Sailor Moon.
Oh, because you already had a project. Like you actually thought ahead and got your set up. Like, I'll just wing it.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that, man, I'm so hoarse today. I already did one character, like upgrading his texture map. So now I'm like, I guess I should do the other characters because then it's going to look funny if I switch to one of them. So for anybody who's watching and actually paying attention to the loony guy in the hat, I have been working on some upscale projects for 3DS games. And so over the weekend, I decided what I had been doing was just like upgrading the flat images of like icons and the text and things like that. But it was driving me crazy seeing it blown up on my TV with really low res textures, especially on like the one I'm working on right now, where it has all these little details like stitching around the gloves and the jacket, and the stitching is just super blurry. So I put on my crazy pants and decided to just upscale everything. And
to be fair, though, I love when you put on those pants and go crazy, because then we get really cool art. And so selfishly, I really enjoy it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, if I can find it, Kristen, I know I have it saved somewhere. I have a picture of myself and two of my friends from middle school where we dressed up in school uniform Sailor Scout outfits. Yes. You can see my amazing cosplay skills. No.
Yay! It's always fun though, like especially the like first time you dress up?
Absolutely. Well, and it was nice to have friends who were willing to go with me and do that. And it was the first time that I had actually trick-or-treated in town, where you just go house to house and you fill like pillowcases. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? This is insane. I've never had a trick-or-treat experience like this before. So it was very fun.
Aw.
Because in the country, you do like 4 houses and then you go home because you have to drive 15 minutes between each house.
I think doing it in for Halloween just makes it all the more special. That's super adorable.
Yeah. No, we were cute. It was fun.
I remember one of my very first bad cosplays was in high school. And it was like a really last minute put together cardboard sword, aluminum foil gauntlets kind of cosplay of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Aww.
That's kind of cute. I didn't know. Have I ever seen that? You doing that, Cloud?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it and pull it up. It's pretty bad. It was for, I want to say Spirit Week at school, so it was pretty close to Halloween. And yeah, so I went to school dressed like this, and I did that.
No regrets. No regrets.
Oh.
Some regrets. Yes.
Where's my mouse? Okay. I have discovered something very frustrating, wherein kind of talking about the tools we use. So I have a iPad, and I use this when I really don't feel like sitting at my desk, when I just kind of feel like sitting on the couch or something like that.
Yeah.
So I sketch a lot on here, and the software that I use does allow me to export to a PSD, Photoshop file. So then I have to import it into Photoshop. And then I don't like inking as much in Photoshop. I like doing colors and inking and everything in Manga Studio because I don't have Clip Studio Paint. So it's like I have to go through 3 different programs to do anything. But I still like doing backgrounds in Photoshop. I like doing the inking and coloring in Manga Studio. But then I do the initial sketch. Like all of my initial sketches are always in my tablet.
I think that's so funny, but I'm very much the same way. Like for certain stuff, especially anything that I'm editing text or doing that, I prefer that so much in CorelDRAW. And obviously anything that I want to end up being, vector when I'm done, but to just sit and sketch and do that type of stuff is absolutely, on my tablet in Clip Studio.
I remember.
If you want to see my shame, I found the picture of me as Cloud.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Can we full screen this, Emily? Can we?
We sure can.
Give it the due appreciation that it deserves.
Oh no, that didn't work. I can do it. I know it will let me. There, do it. Click to that. Why is it not switching? I don't want mine. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's baby Randall.
Mm-hmm. With that really awful hair color spray and.
Look at your boots, though. Oh
yep.
my
and
god.
Those are absolutely the like zip-off pants that like you could turn them into shorts.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Oh god, that's so fun though. Oh my! Did anybody know who you were?
Yeah. Thankfully, some people knew who I was. But then the popular kids, they were not as into it.
They weren't as impressed as they should have been.
Who needs them?
All right. All right. So, okay. So I'm going to have so many things done. All right. Flip over that. All right. I'm going to step away for a quick second.
She's leaving us again, Kristen.
I am, but
I'm always leaving us.
I'm going to leave my screen up so it's like I'm here. So I will be right back.
I got frustrated with the line art. I think it's just one of those things where I have to take a break from it for a little while. So I'm going to go into Photoshop and try to figure out what I want to do as background, because I just did a very rough sketch.
I said, I think that's a really good idea. I get like that so often where I just need to step away from it.
I was working on inking the Nihilania last night, and I just kept running into like just not being happy with it. So, yep. Now y'all get to see my messy Photoshop files again. There we go.
Messy
So we're not going to name them.
Files with 1,000 layers.
Right? We're not going to name them because that would be giving in to peer pressure, but we are going to just put them in a group and hide them, because that's how we do in this house.
Yep.
We hide our shame. We don't confront it.
Well, I will say the one thing that I really like about the new version of Photoshop, now that I'm on CC, is that you can just like click layers and like, you know, I'm talking about with the auto select layers.
After you finish that, you're definitely going to draw some Sailor Moon with us, right, Randall?
I mean, I don't know. Should I?
I think my headphones died. Let's see.
Oh, because you use the fancy wireless ones. Do you have sound now?
I do, yes. I have no idea what happened. You see, it's because Emily took off that someone has to have some sort of computer dilemma, right? That's just the nature of the beast.
Pretty much.
So I got hit with that for some reason. More technology fails.
Okay, so what you got here is your Eclipse background for Nihilania that you're working on?
Yeah, I pretty much am just going to go ahead and cheat that. Yeah, I created sort of a semi eclipse shape when I had debated doing this all in Photoshop. So right now all I'm really doing is trying to align it. I don't think I like that glare. Does it have anything in this layer? No. So yeah, I'm going to try to recreate the eclipse I sort of kind of drew. And center that. Really? Why aren't you centering? Although I will admit that sometimes I will try to draw things digitally, and then I always end up just really liking what I had drawn by hand initially the best.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, even though technology has improved and whatnot, I don't know. Sometimes it's just easier for me to sketch it out on paper first and then go in digital.
I think a lot of it's also just how we were taught. You know, that's also our comfort zone is just, I'm the same way. When I get super frustrated and I'm trying to do something digitally, it's just like, this would be so much easier with just like a pencil and paper. Like I can get my idea out there without having to worry about layers or brushes or brush strokes or any of that nonsense.
Exactly.
So I am the same.
Well, and I mean, it's just like when I was talking to you the other week, I guess just over the weekend, it might have been, about trying to figure out a way to paint these little roses. And I'm like, if it was an actual physical medium, then like I could have just like mixed 2 paints on a brush and done it that way, but
I don't know. You could have mixed paints on a brush, but they got all those weird infomercial like gradients now. I don't know if you've ever seen those, or like markers and stuff that do gradients and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But no, I totally see what you're saying. It's a lot easier to just go ahead and do it by hand sometimes.
Speaking of infomercials, something that crept from the depths of my mind. Do you remember those blow brushes?
Oh, those were weird.
Or blow markers. That's what they were.
I remember those. Those were weird. Those felt like they shouldn't be a thing. Didn't they?
Yeah, it makes me wonder how long it took before someone like started drinking the blow pens, I think is what they were actually called, not blow markers. Because somebody had to have started drinking them and they ended up with a lawsuit.
Anytime I see things like that, though, it's a very what do you want to call it? Probably like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like hipster way to think about it. It's probably not the right way to think about it, but anytime I see those, I'm like, well, if I start seeing people in my community using them, then I know it's a good product and it actually achieves the look that you want. Or does it just stay on the, like, those blow pens were obviously for little kids. So, you know, if it just stays on that level, then it's probably just going to, you know, stay there. But anytime I see them trying to like reinvent the wheel with those sort of things, that's what I always think about. Like, maybe this is going to be the new wave of art, which would be very interesting if we start getting in that direction.
I was definitely the kid though that was super into those any kind of art supply commercials, like Doodle Bear. I wanted a Doodle Bear so bad.
What's Doodle Bear? I didn't know about that one.
Oh, Doodle Bear. It was like it looked like it was made out of denim. It was like a teddy bear, but the whole point was you could like draw on it with a washable marker.
Okay, no, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, it was you just throw them in the washing machine when you want to redo them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Let's see. So I'm thinking maybe I just want to take a pause on Nehelania. Hey folks, it is okay if a drawing is frustrating you to just stop. I will do another Sailor Moon piece that has nothing to do with this little series I'm working on because I think I'm just getting a little frustrated. Like even working on the background, I'm like, I don't think I've really thought through what I want to do with this piece yet. So we'll drag in another unfinished Sailor Moon piece and we'll work on that, which will be a little bit more fun, I think, to watch because it is a rough sketch. So that means I have to go in there and clean it up.
Oh, that's a fun one.
And yeah, I was in a mood that day. So I was like, I just want to draw sort of a very intimidating picture with a giant weapon.
Fair.
So, you know, some days you get into that mood where you're just like, Oh, I'm on the chat. So I see Sister had a Doodle Bear. Was it, yeah, the washable teddy bears. Were they fun at all? Like, is it, I'd always worry that they would die and they would never really come off in the wash. See, now I'm finally reading the chat.
Yeah, that was one of those things too that I'm like, if you use red markers on that, I guarantee that that entire bear is slowly going to turn red. Also makes me wonder how many people, like adults, got frustrated after they would wash their kid's doodle bear and then it would end up on clothes and things afterwards.
Never again. The doodle bears. Never again.
She said, I don't think she actually ever drew on it. Oh, that's a waste.
I sort of feel that exact same way, though. I was one of those kids that was a little too afraid to ruin any of my toys. I don't know why. But yeah, things like a doodle bear, I'd probably never end up drawing on, to be quite honest.
See, I was very much about customization, and I had some knockoff Beanie Babies. They weren't ties, so of course, you know, as we all know, they didn't have any value, unlike tie Beanie Babies, which everyone is
Tied?
still
Does that
holding
mean it
on
has
to.
a little tag on it or something?
Yeah, so if it had the TY tag on it, then people claimed it was going to be worth a ton of money someday, so they never took it off. So since I had the non-money making Beanie Babies, I decided to customize them, and I would hand stitch little emblems on them, almost like Care Bears.
Oh,
That's ridiculously cute.
it is super cute. Young Randall just sounds cuter and cuter the more we hear stories about him.
I mean,
I made, yeah, like little paper clothes for them. I learned how to make like little skirts and things.
Cruggle's sister had a doodle bear.
Where did young Randall go? Where is he now?
And shoved into a box with the rest of my fun.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Never to be seen again.
Oh, I did draw on those layers. That was smart. Yeah, good job. Good job, Emily. Good job. Oh, nope. Hey, I got to step away again because the plumber's calling me. Hang on.
Whoa!
I'm glad you guys are working today.
So I don't know if it would interest, but we could totally turn this into a more of a Sailor Moon conversation again, simply because everyone's kind of working on who is everyone's favorite sailor senshi, sailor soldier. It definitely revealed mine as Pluto. She's my girl.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I had this conversation with someone recently. I feel like that's the really getting to know someone conversation when you, it's almost like astrology when you ask someone what their sign is. And then
what's your sign?
Yeah, so then like based on what's your favorite sailor, you start piecing together personality profiles.
Mm-hmm. Then you figure out what you have to, like, you know, be aware of, judge them on. Like, really? Thatcher? You had all these other characters and your favorite is Artemis? Really? All right.
Yeah. I think even more so it's if you take the flip side of that and you ask someone ahead of time, who do you think my favorite is, just to see what their impression of you is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I get Mercury a lot. People say that they think Mercury would be my favorite.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe because we know you. I would never.
I was gonna say, yeah, that wouldn't have been my first.
That would not be my first trio.
Yeah.
We got some Mercuries in the chat and a Pluto.
Steve, I think you're lying. I don't think you're really a Mercury fan. I think he's joshing us. That felt weird to say. I don't want to say it again.
There was a poll done by I believe a Japanese publisher. I don't know the details, though. I could find it online. They did a poll for the most popular character in Sailor Moon, and the one that won was a bit of a surprise to me. Maybe it shouldn't be. Was Sailor Uranus.
Really?
Yeah, Sailor Uranus is, at least in Japan, the most popular character, which beat out Sailor Mercury, who used to always be the most popular character in Japan, was Sailor Mercury.
Huh. I mean, I always thought she had by far like one of the designs that I liked the best. Like that short hair was just dope. But that surprises me.
Yep, I was always Jupiter. Jupiter and Neptune. I like my girls with their pretty hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually think of Neptune with you. Also, because you love
the artistic thing.
Yeah.
It's the artistic thing and like the musical thing and all that stuff.
I think probably, back in the day before we had any of the others, just out of the inners, Jupiter for sure stole my heart when they did the ice skating episode. And I was like, there she is. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
I loved that episode. The costumes were so good.
She also, Jupiter, I think, had one of the strongest, like, relatable personalities. It was definitely an archetype, but it was that, like, I'm super tough and strong and independent, young woman, but then I also love baking and I also love sewing and I really like wearing flowery, like, girly things. And it's like, I relate.
Yeah.
I, too, am an independent young woman who is okay embracing the, more delicate arts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And she, like we were talking about fleshing out earlier, I felt like she actually got some really, really good story arcs and she got some really good storytelling, which I appreciated.
Oh, we're being asked in the chat now who are our favorite villains.
Oh.
I have a favorite one-off that I can think of right away. I can't remember names, and I also not even
like
gonna
the
try.
Monster of the Day sort of villain.
Yeah, so my favorite monster of the day was they were twins and they came from the girl who was working at the animation studio and they came from the little bits of her like small sharpened down pencils. Like
yeah.
You remember that episode? I loved that episode so much.
It was
a twin, maybe
Lori, I'm pretty sure. Obviously in the English dub, in the Deke English dub, I'm pretty sure the animator's name is Lori, and like her friend gave her some pencils, and they like turned evil. Yes, I remember that episode.
I adored that episode so much. Like that was definitely one so what I always used to do is, again, because we're old guys, is I would, put in a blank VHS and I would record the episode of Sailor Moon off of Toonami, and that one, like, definitely that VHS stayed out more than the other ones because I would rewatch that episode.
I think I still have downstairs a box somewhere full of those VHSs that I just never had the heart to throw out. I don't even have a VHS player, but I did the exact same thing. I recorded every single like Toonami episode, and even before it was on Toonami, when it was on WB, I saved all those. But to answer the question of favorite villain, that's a tough one. I like Nehelenia because she reminds me the most of Maleficent, with just like this straightforward, like, nope, I am just a petty, vindictive, I don't have some grand plan of owning the universe. It's not my goal to like completely, enslave humanity. I literally just want to be the most beautiful. And I just like, again, Maleficent, like I wasn't invited to a child's birthday. And I think there's so many crossovers between Maleficent and Nehelena, probably unintentionally, but there are. She just kind of made a special place in my heart due to just that like evil because.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about like
a backstory.
Like style and presence. Like Maleficent is a bad bee. Like she carries herself well. Like, oh, I loved it. I thought she was scary as a kid. Like,
I always felt she was like probably one of Disney's strongest villains, just because she straight up villain. We don't need anything else.
Yeah, no, she owned her shit. She really did. And I loved her like talking smack to the three good fairies. I'm just like, oh, you give no craps about any of this. I can appreciate that.
You know you're the best.
Yeah.
You got this.
As far as my favorites, it's tough because it's like I think I have certain favorites for like the goofy ones, but then obviously like favorites for the ones that are just the most sinister.
Yeah.
Because, for the goofy ones, there's just something about Mehmet.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Mehmet.
Like, just, she's not even trying, just like going after all these celebrities just so she can meet them. And I thought that was the funniest thing.
Oh, God, I love it. Well, I loved the oh God, you guys, this is why I wouldn't talk about this normally on stream with the two of you, because I'm going up against people who know this stuff really well. But the Dark Circus, the quartet of them, like
the Amazon Quartet.
Yep, I was like, I know their name, but it's disappeared out of my brain. Like I just loved their designs, like that whole they were just so good.
Little girls with big boobies.
Yeah. I was like, that doesn't work that.
So, because I don't know if you know, Emily, they are going to be in, since I was talking about the movie, they are going to be in the new movie, since it does, take place Super season 4. And in the manga, and then also in the movie, they become their own Sailor Soldiers. Spoiler alert.
I kind of like that. But it's how I always felt about Rubius's group, like the Black Moon game. Like when you've got the 4 of them who actually like break off and become not great guys or good guys, but not evil guys anymore. Like I like that.
Civilians just like opening a makeup studio and
yeah.
Again, I loved their costumes too. They were.
Oh yeah.
They were based off of actual runway fashions from like the early 90s and everything.
Oh, the thing you sent me, Randall, with the one creator who took some sort of Barbie doll or posable and made a catsie of it. I was just like, oh my gosh. That's incredible.
In the chat, there's a villain called Black Lady. Yikes. So yeah, when that was brought over to the US, they also had that same thought. And in the English dub, like the original English dub from the 90s, they changed it from Black Lady to Wicked Lady.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with someone last night about why they never brought stars to the United States. And I had to like, so.
Okay, so.
Here's what they did, for the other seasons, and here's all the stuff that they cut out. What stars just had too much, and they gave up, and they're like, we can't cut enough of this out. We're just not even going to air it. So definitely check out Stars if you
wanted to go. Like, and I loved it too, because like I remember reading up about it as a kid, not having access to that stuff, and I was just like, this is bonkers. But I want more. All right. I'll flip this and see if this still looks okay.
Right? The flipping.
Yeah. I was like, I really do know anatomy, but let's see if I've actually been paying attention.
Never.
I'm not about to pretend I know anatomy.
Oh, I was going to tell you when we were talking about mini versions of us doing adorably nerdy things. So I had, I'm pretty sure, if we're being honest, I'm pretty sure it was a lined notebook. And the whole point of that notebook was to literally catalog every different outfit that Venus wore. So I would draw an outfit from that episode and like write down details about that and like color it all in. And oh yeah. So yeah, I'll have to see if I still have that. I think I do. I think it's somewhere.
Mine was notebooks where I recorded literally every single scrap of information about the individual characters, like like anything that they would give for their personalities, or like their blood type, their birthdays, their favorite food, and I can kind of list most of that stuff off by heart simply because, you know, writing it in notes. So like Pluto's least favorite food is shiitake mushrooms. Like, who needs to know that? But I do.
Still in my brain.
Mars's favorite food is tofu. Oh,
Like, yeah. Well, I remember being so confused by the blood type thing, because obviously that was a very cultural thing, and I was like, I knew them because I jotted them all down, very much the same as you, but I was like, I don't necessarily know why I know this, why this is a thing, but
I just thought it was like they literally knew so many details about these characters, like it was world building, like fleshing out to the extreme. But then when I finally like got into other fandom, and it's like, oh, they're all listing the blood types, but they won't list, like, you know, what their childhood's pets' names were. I don't know, like, why are you just stopping at blood type? So
right.
Yeah, I agree. I had the thing where I was like, oh, that's a lot of details. Although I have caught that where it does go beyond just like blood types and favorite foods. There have been a few fandoms and stuff that I've read where it lists ridiculous things about characters that it's like, why do you need to know that?
When will that?
It was
information that I need.
Why does me as a fan need to know what type of, like, you know, body wash they use? I don't know. No.
The important things.
Oh, I can't remember. No, her boots don't go like that. Her boots go like this. I had to remember her boots. For shame.
Okay, Steve, I'm expecting you to remember all of this because I'm going to quiz you on it later. So.
Oh yes, there is a pair of one-off Senshi called Sailor Chanel and Sailor Gucci. They're from one of Rainey's picture diaries. It's actually the very last entry in the picture diaries, and they are phenomenal. And I've always kind of wanted to either cosplay or meet people cosplaying as Sailor Chanel and Sailor Gucci.
Oh my god, I love that.
I love their outfits too. They're super skanky. I can't really say it another way. But they're just like also very fetching, like very fashionable. And the story is ridiculous. They go to a pawn shop and they buy like, yeah, right. But yes, Sailor Chanel and Sailor Gucci. Wow, people forget about them. They're.
I was gonna say, Del, I am super, super impressed. I'm very excited we got on this because it's making me happy.
There are so many obscure, Sailor Moon like references and characters in the show, and then of course you can like mention all the places Sailor Moon shows up like outside of Sailor Moon. It gets weird.
Yeah, the Sailor Moon EU is just nuts.
Oh yeah, and then it's like you get into the ones like Kosagi with her little bunny-shaped hair buns.
Parallel Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Which, again, I will say the phrase, I had a conversation recently with someone, because I talk about Sailor Moon a lot, wherein, because you have a lot of reboots going on now, and obviously not just anime reboots, but also like mangaka coming back and doing like sequels or prequels or something to their, carrying on the story. And of course the Sailor Moon community is like, oh, when is Naoko Takeuchi going to like make a spin-off? Like, why don't we have this? And then it's like, oh, well, we actually do. It's called Parallel Sailor Moon. And it was weird. And it didn't last very long. It's just one little one-off she did.
What's in here?
But yeah, Parallel Sailor Moon. At least one of the, I think it's the Gucci is Gengaro. She has like the super tan skin with the crazy makeup.
Yeah, there was a manga I loved called Peach Girl Momo, and it was funny, which is Peach Girl Peach, but it was funny to me because it was obviously printed in black and white, but they had toned her skin a little bit darker. And again, as I'm reading this as a younger reader, I didn't understand, kind of the cultural view on the women who have the really tan skin and the bright blonde hair and all the makeup and everything. And it was very integral to her story and the perception of her because she was a swimmer. So she was outside in the sun. So she got really tan, but it made people think certain things about her. And it was neat. It was one of those where I was like, oh, wow, this was written really well. And Tiny Emily didn't understand any of it, but cool.
I remember that too. I remember learning what, like, probably pronouncing it wrong, like Ganguro meant. And I learned it from fan art. Someone did fan art of the Sailor Senshi as those Ganguro girls. And I was like, oh, what is this? And then I looked at, like, let me take it back. They did Sailor Moon as a Ganguro, and then they did Sailor Venus as, like, one of the, I think it's called, like, Princess Lolita is, like, a fashion there.
Yep.
And they did a series of each one of the Senshi as, like, one of those Shinjuku districts fashion fashion groups. I am really bad at knowing the terminology of that, but yeah, so it was very interesting in how, oh, I didn't even know this was like a thing, all these different fashion labels, fashion groups, and I learned through Sailor Moon.
Yep. And very specific.
And then of course it, like, opened my eyes, like,
each group had its own specific, like, it's this thing, it's this thing, it's this thing. And no, some of the, as much as I love and appreciate the Lolita stuff, that was one where I was like, oh no, look at all those ruffles. No, that's not going to be a thing that I draw.
Oh, draw.
Like, no.
My mind immediately went to, like, oh, wearing.
Oh yeah, no, that either. Like, it'd be awesome, but again, I also, like, I look at some of these looks and I was like, wow, you put so much wonderful time and planning into this outfit, and I literally grabbed the hoodie that was sitting on my washer this morning. Like, yeah, it works. But
I like to think they also grab the hoodie. It's just the special occasions that they break out those crazy ruffles.
Yeah, but the craftsmanship is just astounding. Like, it's incredible. So Gothic Lolita official art of the. Ooh, I bet Eva characters in Gothic Lolita would be dope. At some point, I need to actually watch through all of that, but I haven't been in a mental headspace of wanting to watch something that heavy. So,
Evangelion.
Yeah, because it's beautiful.
Since you obviously we went to the same school for animation, I don't know about you, but from just, like, the history of Evangelion and the amazing cluster muck that was the production of the original series, of the movie and everything like that, I learned everything there is to know about Gainax and, like, how they did the animation and the director and everything. But I've never actually, like yourself, I've never seen Evangelion, but I know everything about the production of it. So it's just a super weird thing where it's like, I know, like, weird industry stories, but it's weird that I have no context to, like, place those on.
Exactly. And, like, I would research a ton about the characters and about the story, and, like, I know a good amount about it without having ever gotten that through watching it. So yeah, that's just, it's funny. All right, so let's
I had a friend lend me the box set, and like yourself, I knew that it was gonna, like, destroy me for a month or so if I watched it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep putting this off, and then I finally had to give the box set back when she moved, and I never watched it.
Yeah, that eye's real wonky. Let's fix that a little bit.
I can't figure out how I want to draw this scarf. I keep forgetting where my layers are. There's my layers.
So, Del, what did you think? What's your takeaway? What was that?
Oh, I was just teasing Kristen when she said I can't find my layers, and I was like, we just had this discussion, young lady.
You don't do what I want. Maybe I like searching for my layers. It's, like an I Spy or Where's Waldo. Maybe it's how I find catharsis in my daily life.
right, so I wanted to clean these eyes up, but now I just made her look crazy.
Story of my life.
Well, so there's one brush that I really, really like in Clip Studio, and it's one of the pencils, but unfortunately, it's not fully opaque. And so when I'm doing certain stuff, like especially sketching, it's perfect. But as I'm trying to ink, like just a little bit cleaner lines, especially around her eyes, it just doesn't work because it just builds up too many different layers. So I switched over to try and clean it up, and she looked a little nutty, a little crazy. So you gotta edit those eyes a little bit.
I am having trouble because Saturn, or the version of Saturn I'm drawing at least, has these like really weird flower petal-esque shoulder decorations, and they're just not working with the composition I have. Because no matter what, they're going to be cutting off part of her face. So then you have to do that thing where it's like, okay, do I just like ignore them and hope no diehard fan notices, or do I just draw them and let them mess up my composition? Like, this is the problem with fan art. If I was drawing my own art, I could just like, well, I'll just not give her shoulder pads. But no, you can't do that when you're drawing fan art.
Not with a character with an established costume.
No.
All right. That's, yeah, that actually super demonic. That's cool.
Because I could give her super shoulder pads, but then that doesn't really fit with like the rest of the drawing.
Yeah, Del, I saw the dub of it was on Netflix. I actually added it to my queue and, you know, trying to tell myself, like, you'll watch it. You will. And I haven't yet. But again, it's exactly like Kristen said. Also, like, I know I want to finish Voltron. I want to watch some more Hilda. Like, I've got a few others that I'm just like, I'm kind of leaning towards those right now.
Because you mentioned Hilda. This is my birthday present. A friend of mine, Eric, got me a little plushie for my birthday.
Oh, she's precious.
And super cute. And I'm going to see if my camera can pick it up. I don't know. But there's actually like an Alfie right next to her ear, which is just adorable.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, little Alfie right there. So anyway, that was my, I said birthday present, I meant Christmas present. I know words. Words are good.
Yeah. It was so weird. Whenever I was doing a stream around the holidays, I could not keep it straight with which words I was trying to say between Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Like, I would say the wrong one every single time. I'm like, okay, I know what words are. I can do this. Let's see how this looks.
Now we get into my favorite part.
Drawing it.
Drawing ruffles.
So which character did you end up deciding to go with, Randall?
For my drawing.
Yeah.
Can you see her?
I can see her.
She's on my phone, so she's super small. Because if
I'm going to assume it's either Jupiter or Mercury. No, wait, you have earrings. If I look at the earrings, I'll be able to tell.
I'm curious.
The earrings give it away.
She looks super cute.
I can't seem to zoom in, but now I'm seeing the part, so, you know, that gives it away too.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Aw, she's so pretty.
Was I correct when I said Mercury?
Yep.
Yay!
I say
Mercury
when I
has
start getting the
studs.
back in there, then you know.
My dad got Hilda, Twig, a wolf, and 2 of the 3 new tie novels. Oh, cool! Oh, that's right, Del. I think you did tell me that there was novelizations of Hilda that you were doing.
Well, it was a comic first, wasn't it? It was a comic, and then they animated it.
Oh, that's dope. I will admit,
Yeah,
I don't know a ton about that one. I happened to see it pop up, and I was like, "Well, I love this."
It's such a cute series. Yeah,
When
it's
Okay.
I don't remember. I think it's English. I almost want to say like Swedish, but I know it's not. But the art is a little bit different than the show. It's a little bit different of an art style, but it's pretty much the same premise, and the characters are the same. It's just the art style is different.
Well, and it had this kind of like wacky, fun, like Gravity Falls did, and I really enjoy Gravity Falls.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like a relaxed pace too, which I really appreciate.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Comic show, 6 volumes of show novelization. Nice. Let's color this in so she doesn't look quite so crazy.
Once again, the costume is destroying the composition. Why are their butt bows so ridiculous? I don't know. I don't like that.
Nope, that's the same color as your hair. Don't do that.
I kind of like that we're all just drawing Sailor Moon. Like, that means a lot.
It makes me happy.
It's been a while since I have.
Yeah. No, same. Well, and I think it's funny because I draw a decent amount of fan art, especially at like conventions, but on my own, I don't feel like I do as much. It's weird.
Randall, I was debating, should I share those drawings I showed you the other day?
Oh my god.
Should I? I think I should. Everything has a story. Do you want to tell the story or do I?
Go for it.
So, back in college, Emily, you will obviously remember, when we were learning to do 2D animation, character animation, the first thing they have us animate is ball bounce, obviously, but then the second thing they have us animate is a flour sack. Yeah. So it was this kind of ongoing running joke with Randall and I that we would draw flour sacks for but Sailor Moon flour sacks. So I'm gonna hold it up to the camera and I'm gonna hope my camera picks this up. So we have here a sailor, or no, I think this is a tuxedo mask. Flour sack.
Oh, come on. Thank you. There, switch over.
So sailor or tuxedo mask. And by the way, these are horrible drawings from college. So we have like there's a Helenia, there's like a Queen Serenity, a Princess Serenity, a Sailor Luna flour sack. So we would draw all these ridiculous flour sacks. Oh wait, here's my favorite. There's a Uranus and Neptune flower sack with rose petals, Pluto.
Oh my god, I love that Pluto.
So whenever I see, there's your Mercury, there's your Mars, there's your Venus. So whenever I see on like Kotaku or on BuzzFeed or whatever, they'll be like, oh, look at this artist. They redesigned the Sailor Moon characters as like velociraptors or as like, you know, whatever, like these crazy redesigns. And I keep thinking back to like, well, we did this, the flower sack. Should I just like draw these and become the new Kotaku? Yeah. Like, oh, artists redesigned Sailor Moon characters as flower sacks, and then the people that get it, get it.
I think that's an excellent idea, and I fully support it.
We actually had Randall had sticker paper, and we made stickers. And God help me, I have them somewhere. I would never have thrown those away, but I do have stickers of the Sailor Moon tuxedo mask flower sacks that we created. Like they were colored and everything. So I feel like that should definitely be a thing, and some people out there will get it, I'm sure.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
So Sailor Moon flower sacks, tell your friends, coming to Redbubble near you.
Oh god, that's too funny.
Started trend drawing flower sacks again.
I do like drawing flower sacks though. Like I didn't enjoy it as much then, but now like sometimes it's just fun to make that kind of like squishable, floppy character.
Mm-hmm. It definitely loosens you because you don't have to think about a lot. There's not a lot of perspective or anatomy in a flower sack.
Yeah.
It takes some of the pressure off. I think I like
Del
that.
said that the flower sacks could easily become hamsters, and that would also be adorable.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Why not? I mean, hamsters and flower sacks are pretty much the exact same shapes.
Yeah, especially like I remember old school like hamster dance, like and the all those little flash animations. Like those hamsters were basically just flower sacks.
Yep.
Yep.
I think it was you and me, Emily, when we were talking recently about kids now not understanding the appeal of hamster dance from back in the day.
It was because I played it for my students over the summer. They're just like, what is this? And I was like, haha, wait, there's more.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
You haven't even gotten to the best part.
I was gonna say, so we did peanut butter jelly, we did crazy frog. Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, you just went down like the Newgrounds list.
Pretty much. I was like, oh, you guys, it was a different time. Pretty funny.
I forget. It was an article somewhere that was going over the history of webcomics. And it started with like the really early, late 90s, early 2000s webcomics. Like obviously it had Penny Arcade and it had XYZ and it had Mega Tokyo and all of those. But it was then going into the evolution of like, here are these stick figure, very simple-esque 3-4 panel webcomics. And now we get into like the graphic novel webcomics like Meek and all of those.
Yeah.
And it was showing this very interesting evolution where you could see like as the digital drawing programs kind of escalated, the more artistic a lot of the webcomics were becoming, but then also just kind of the flavor that people were wanting from a webcomic. Like, do you want a daily comic that you go on, or do you want something where you're going to be like an ongoing story? Is it just a slice of life that you say, I relate to that. Yes, my cat does that thing too. Or
yeah, because you had like I remember I used to read like Control-Alt-Delete, which started as like almost MS Paint level, and then they got into that and all of those. Like even Penny Arcade. Like you look back at the early Penny Arcade stuff, and it was incredibly different from where they ended up. They still had the ideas for the characters that they wanted, but it was not what it is today.
No, not at all.
Oh, yes. Hamtaro. I love Hamtaro. Yes, and Dell, I did show them Badger. Because I would say we talked a lot about Animal Crossing during the summer because some of the kids played it, and I was obviously playing a lot of it. But somehow I got going and I went, mushroom, and they're like, what? And I was like,
Badger.
Just wait, kids. Yeah, that's good.
I do know that I can't talk about llamas without the llama song popping in my head.
Yep. Well, and like I think they had some like peripheral awareness of Charlie the Unicorn, but even that was a little bit before them, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like because they were born in 2007.
We don't say
Wee
these
bobbies.
Oh my gosh, there was a meme that I saw the other day that just destroyed me, and it was talking about like showing your ID at the grocery line to buy booze and like holding it up and the cashier being like, oh, okay, yeah, I see the one. And then like the person being like, the one, like, oh God. Because if you're born in, I was like, oh, I was like,
oh
God.
God.
That hurts me.
Why did you need to share that with me?
Because I can't have the pain alone. I need to share it with
I see the one. Jesus.
Yep. That's where we are now.
Goodness.
Thanks,
yeah,
I hate it.
Those bonkers Quiznos commercials. Yeah. Well, and I was thinking of too, like, I think we got talking about the Gushers ones where they would eat the Gusher and then their head would turn into that giant fruit. With really
was that Gushers or was that Airheads?
I think the Airheads one you actually turned into like the strip,
a balloon.
Yeah, and it had that, but the Gushers one it would turn into different fruit heads, and like it was a little unsettling in that early 90s animation way.
They did not care about scarring us when we were young.
No. And I just
There's
wish
so many commercials like that too.
Yeah. It's like I'd love to like let this go. No, it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay in there.
10 years from now, we're talking to a therapist. It's like, okay, so describe the thing that shows up in the corner of the room when you're having a night terror. What does it look like? And then you just describe the Gushers commercial. Or like, you're the fifth one today.
Do you remember that little like Crash Bandicoot type guy that was the honeycomb mascot?
Oh yeah.
He kind of reminded me of Animal from Muppets.
Yes. But yeah, just another one of those like, what? What are you doing?
See, for me, I think my night terror that would show up in the corner of the room lurking would be that Burger King, that like weird, creepy face where he just like stands there and watches you.
That like plasticky mask, like rubber mask type face. But yeah, that was weird. Also, I'm sad as you're saying that. I'm like, that wasn't that long ago. Oh, it probably was.
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago.
No. Yeah.
Although they are still making them, because I saw one the other night and I was like, oh God, my nightmare is manifest again.
That's the other meme thing where it's talking about like, you know, the Burger King mascot isn't real. It can't hurt you like Burger King had. And then it's just a picture of him. It was like, but it can. You can't see me.
You can see me. You can hear me.
I
have to get some good brushes. I don't have any good brushes. I keep just using the default brushes. Nope, do not like.
I keep forgetting I mean to install the those halftone brushes that I think I sent you, Randall. I haven't installed them yet because I want to play with them. I just haven't. Brains.
Okay, we're gonna turn all of these on. Don't know what I have to have on if I have to move a layer.
Really odd. Yeah, I will admit, Del, I do sometimes get the like mid to late 90s and early aughts mixed up just because that was like transition from like elementary school into middle school. And I can't always remember like exactly. It's like, okay, when did I see that? So yeah, or actually middle school to high school. I'm like,
so this is one of those issues where all these programs are the same, but just different enough that I don't know where to find something. And Emily, you're using Clip Studio Paint?
Yep.
Okay, which is the predecessor to Manga Studio, because I'm still behind. How do I change the size of the canvas? Would you happen to know?
So at least for me, if I want to change it, I have a change image resolution and change canvas size under edit.
Okay. So I see, yeah, change canvas size. Oh, look at that. It's just like, oh, that's so much easier. I must have just assumed it was going to be difficult.
I used to do the weird thing like in Photoshop where I would just take the crop tool and then drag that out and make my canvas bigger that way. And I couldn't do that in this. And I had a moment where it's just like, wait, what? So, no.
Okay. Oh, look, there's an actual thing. Oh, look, it tells me. Oh, that's nice. Okay. I just make it bigger. I just realized I needed to make literally everything bigger.
Well, the heartbreaking thing when you realize, like, sometimes if I'm in a hustle to start a new piece, and then I realized that I had it at like 72 DPI while I was working on all of that, I was like, oh no, oh no. It's like, okay, I need to go in and save that and then fix all of these things.
Yeah, that's soul crushing.
Yeah, luckily oh, you're still processing. There we go. Luckily I didn't do that, but because this was a sketch that I had started on my iPad, like I mentioned before, I for some reason keep starting sketches on my iPad. It has very limited size, what I can do. So I had to make it bigger before I went ahead and started inking, because, you know, you want to get the inking right. Okay. Wait. Wait. We have two kitties surrounding me right now. Oh. No. This is number kitty 1. Oh, she's so cute. And then kitty number 2 is sitting on top of my computer where she knows she's not supposed to.
But it's warm.
Here, go sleep on my drawings. And this.
Yeah,
this is kitty
I
2.
started. Well, I started college in 04. Well, I think all of us started college in 04. Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah, 04.
All right.
Now you want to get in my lap? It's not gonna work.
Okay, so yeah, you're not that much older than us. Oh. And you have an adorable tiny human.
All right, I think I can do that. I remember when I used to like inking. I remember when I thought that was something that I enjoyed.
Then Inktober happened.
I was looking, I don't know if I was just reorganizing files or something, and I was looking back to 1 year where I absolutely kicked butt at Inktober, and I was like, oh, that was cool. Look at all this cool stuff I did. And then never again. Not once since. Okay.
Nope.
I mean, it was fun, like when it was more of like a laid back sort of do it at your own pace, whatever you want to do, you know, as long as you're like doing more art than you usually would. And then it became this like super authoritarian, you have to dictate it by these rule sets and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fuck. F you, man. The language here.
Yeah. So I will admit, so anytime, like if new viewers show up to the stream, it does prompt them and let them know that it is a mature content stream. So that is there. I try and keep the Friday ones a little bit better, but yeah, I think it's
Randall.
That'll probably fade away. That's okay. In the family-friendly stream last night of Nook's Tavern, the Animal Crossing one, there was a flat-out F-bomb in the chat. So.
Oh, okay.
You guys should be in bed anyways. Go to bed. But intentional F-bomb?
Was it like a rage F-bomb or was it like a planned, premeditated F-bomb?
It was we were talking about since you guys do craft stuff, I'm sure you know the flock material, kind of like the fake fuzzy fur stuff.
Oh
We
yeah,
used to have
the flocking.
Yeah, the garment decorating business, we would do certain things with that. It's a pain in the butt to try and cut out of like the vector cutter and all of that. But the one guy in chat was like, "What the F is flock?" I was like, "Aw, I'm jealous of you that you don't have to deal with that. And that's not information that you have in your brain."
We do sometimes. I'm part of a group that does workshops at conventions, and one of the workshops we have is create your own Pokeball, Pokeball terrarium. So we give them all the materials, and they can walk out of the workshop with their own little like Pokeball terrarium with like little Pokemon in it and like leaves and plants and everything. And so we use flocking, and it is fun. Asterisk around the word fun to try and get children to use flocking properly. I'm taking that plastic away from you now. Stop.
That's really cool. I like that idea. Oh, and Dell says something we might enjoy on Netflix. There's a French show called Lolly Rock.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Magic words.
Randall and I are infinitely familiar with Lolly Rock.
Yeah, I came across it one day, and then I messaged Kristen, and I was like, "Kristen, are you aware that there is a show on Netflix that looks like it was made by you?"
Yes, it is my art style, and it is honestly probably exactly what I would create if I had the budget to create my own animation. This like magical girls, cute. I love their outfits, super cute outfits on Lolly Rock. Like, I'm a little obsessed with those like skirt tails that they have to their outfits. So I am all about Lolly Rock.
And now
I'm sad that it's over, but it's very good.
That Randall has told me about it, and because of my brain worms, I'm pretty sure I immediately forgot the name of it and was just like, "Wow, that's really cool," and then off to something else. So my 5-year-old has been hot and cold about the animation, but we'll sing along with the soundtrack. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it is that Flash-based puppet animation, but it's still, you know, it's understandable because that's like the cheapest way to make an animation these days.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, it might not be the best animation, but I get it. I get why you have to use it.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering too, I don't know which studio produced it, but if it was one that was working on a smaller budget or, you know, just trying to get picked up.
It did have a smaller budget, yes. It was actually, I believe, a French animation studio, yeah. I think.
Yeah, which is awesome. Oh, what I was gonna say is it always cracks me up because anytime we talk about Flash animation, I always have, you know, the image in my brain of what Flash animation was for us in college, and it has moved so far beyond that now that's not an accurate representation of it at all, but that's where my brain always immediately goes. It's like, oh, I bet it looks like this, and I see it and I'm like, no, it looks amazing, and shush.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even Flash anymore. They don't use Flash. They use like Toon Boom and other in-house programs now. Like I think Flash, I saw something yesterday about how Flash is, Adobe is going to stop supporting Flash.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was good for what it did because I mean, at the time it was Macromedia Flash that we used. And...
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yep.
That's a name I haven't heard in eons. Reading of the ancient text.
Okay.
But yeah,
I will be right back, guys.
I remember hearing great things about Toon Boom, and it wouldn't surprise me. And like, no, if you're getting software that works better for what you're trying to create, it makes sense to phase out, you know, this original thing because we've built from it and we've grown from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I learned about it from a set of crafting streamers who make the transformation bracelet and necklace for cosplay. Oh, that's cool. The ring is too complex to easily craft. Yeah.
Oh, it's the Lolly Rock.
Yes.
The bracelets and everything for Lolly Rock. Cool. The bracelet, necklace, and oh, I know what she has. It's a bracelet. It's a necklace. It's not earrings. Wow, I can't remember what the yellow one has. I'm ashamed to my fandom. Oh, the ring. You even said it in the chat. I am the dumb.
Okay. Yeah, Del, do you have the name of the craft streamers? Because that might be something that Kristen was interested in.
You just knocked over that whole shelf.
Thanks, kids.
Thanks, kids. Yes, I feel much better about drawing this Saturn. I was getting a little too frustrated before. It just wasn't coming out the way I wanted.
Well, I was going to say, with the one, you could do something cool where if you had the little petals on her shoulders, even if they were moving up and covering her face, you could make them, really lightly translucent so that you still see her face through it all, but you're getting them.
Yeah, I did think about doing that, doing like a transparency to them. I think that's probably going to be the best bet for trying to keep it on model.
Right. True to the design, but without compromising, her face.
Starlit Creations, excellent. I will check them out.
Thanks, Del.
Where did that line come from?
Yeah. Okay. You still doing okay? She's still comfy? Aww.
Oh, your kitty?
Yeah. She's been content.
She got a lap.
She's got the top of the couch. And then my sister is underneath her. So, yes. Seems to be acclimating pretty well, so I'm very happy about that.
How old is she? Do you know?
It's funny. We were actually trying to figure that out. So she was a stray, and I think she wasn't like tiny kitten when I first came across her, but she was still pretty young. And I gave her to Karen, my sister, in we think early spring of 2019. So she's probably 2.5 years old.
Okay, so yeah, still enough to be a kitten, but she has some street cred to her.
Oh yeah, so she's been an outdoor cat. She also gave birth to a litter of 7 kittens. And I think
she's a mom.
Yeah, that mellowed her significantly. So yeah, all right, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with these. I have this idea, but I'm not executing it exactly how I wanted to.
I think hair is my favorite thing to ink. I just really love inking hair.
Yeah, when I first got the tablet and I was messing around with it, I was like, oh my gosh, drawing like flowing hair is the best. It feels so good.
Yeah, that's a huge upgrade from your other one where you had super sketchy lines and
yeah, oh my gosh. The difference isn't even funny. And like what I had kind of like jerry-rigged together just to try and get something to work for me. Oh, yeah, no, it was time. It was time to not have that pain. It was tough because like I knew I was going to make, a sizable investment in what I was buying, and I wanted to make sure that, I didn't have the immediate buyer's remorse as I unboxed it and started working on it and be like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted. But no, it's been great. And now that I've got like the new computer set up and I've got my second monitor. Like, no, it's really nice. It just lets me be faster too. That's been a huge part of it, because like trying to digitally ink my stuff before, it just took so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I hate this so much. And as soon as, because it was at one point when the tablets that I had been using, they stopped recognizing the pen pressure. So I wasn't able to do, like, I'd have to do one thickness of a line. And then if I wanted to change that, essentially go back in and erase it. And that, hey, guess what? That takes a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Never again.
All right, let's do the red first, I think.
It took me a long time to switch to doing digital, only because I had one of the Wacom tablets in college, one of the ones where, you know, you're drawing but you have to look at the screen.
Yep.
And I couldn't grasp it. I just couldn't get used to it. I knew it was a practice thing, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. I'm like, I could do this on paper faster. And I just wouldn't even bother to practice. So that sort of put me off digital, and I had a bunch of opportunities to get like tablets and stuff through work, and I regret never doing it. They're like, "Oh, who wants a Cintiq?" And I was like, "I don't need one. I'm good." Yeah, looking back on that with regret. So now, so I finally got one, and yes, I am. It makes everything go so much faster. Like you were saying, it's just a lot easier. But it took me a long time to realize, like, no, you do want one.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Like
really, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like how you're like, remember in college when we had to look at the screen? I'm like, you mean like I'm doing right now?
How long ago?
I don't have the same ability as you have, Randall.
Oh, I don't have the ability either. I just struggle bust through it.
I actually have to turn on some of my lights.
And it wasn't really, I mean, like you were talking about, I was still using the same Wacom tablet from college up until it just stopped working, cooperating. So, you know, it was a long time of that. But yeah, just even like the other week when I just did a quick little 4-panel comic, like to be able to sketch that out so quickly on the tablet and then jump right into inking it and cleaning it up. Like I actually could finish that in the time, you know, in the 2.5 hours that I had on stream. And that was never the case. Like those used to take me a lot longer because I'd sketch them all out and then I'd either clean them up in pencil or ink them, then take a picture and bring it in and have to try and, you know, clean up the layers, and it was just a much more involved process. Yeah.
And I think that's it exactly. It's possible to get the same quality. It's just such a much longer process.
Yeah. That
it becomes frustrating to the point where I never want art to feel daunting. Like, oh man, I really want to draw this. Oh, but it's going to take me so long because I have to do this hoop and that hoop.
Yeah. And that was a big part of it, because I would find myself not doing something because I'm like, ugh, if I do this, then I've got to do all of these steps before I can post it. So, you know, I'll end up just taking a quick picture of my sketch and calling it a day because I didn't want those other steps for it. And that stinks. It stinks to feel that way. Like, no, I love doing this and I don't ever want that to stop. And it definitely was harshing my buzz on that.
Same thing though, I don't, well, I know having digital would have helped if I had started with digital. It's not necessary. I remember there being an artist I really absolutely love. Her name is Ursula Vernon. And she did this really nice, like, think piece article about how if you're an artist, you know, don't be daunted by not having the right material. Don't be daunted that you don't have the tablet or the software or anything, because as an artist, you'll figure out a way to do it. And she was sharing how, like, you know, before she had digital art, she was doing painting on canvas, and she didn't have an art studio. So she was literally propping the canvas up on her sofa and she's drawing on the floor. And it was just like, yeah, if you have access to these programs, they help. But like, as an artist, you're still going to do art even if you don't have these programs.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just, don't see it as I can't do art because I don't have ABC. It's ABC will help me do art faster, but I don't need them to call myself an artist.
Right.
It takes the pressure off of new artists in a way.
Especially too, because, you know, as we've talked about, whether it's traditional media or digital media, like, art supplies are not cheap. This is an expensive hobby to start messing around with, and I think that can be daunting. And, you know, again, there's nothing wrong with starting with those huge cases of kind of cheapy markers, kind of cheapy pencils, and then once you like it, once you feel confident, like, no, then you can start to invest in nicer things. But no, I'm with you. I'm so grateful that I did have as much traditional background before I went digital. Just for me, it works better in my brain.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm grateful that I learned how to draw without a Control Z, so that now I don't have to live by the Control Z. It doesn't own me. I can stop at any time.
Stop at any time, but you know, it is handy some days.
It is handy, that Control Z.
People on stream yell at that bozo over there that I watched redraw a chin 40 times.
Hey, don't call me out like that.
Okay, I only messed with the eyes how many different times? And now I'm going back in. As I've been coloring, and I'm like, nah, I need to redraw that leg. That part of it's not right.
I'm doing the exact same thing, so do not feel bad.
Pretty sure that I have redrawn this back panel like 8 times. Don't at me, bro.
You okay?
See, aren't we relatable artists? We mess up just as much as everyone.
Oh, funny.
Just like you. Hot messes. Hi. What are you doing? What's going on?
Hi, bud.
Yeah. Being cute. Stepping on my drawings. Okay.
Feeling
Can I
cute.
take this?
Might break some stuff later.
Yeah, right? Just gonna cover this up.
So my inspiration for this piece is, oh my gosh, every time they wear pajamas, they look so ridiculously cute and comfortable. I want them. Like, that's my inspiration that I'm going with.
I
You're
proved that
absolutely right.
inspiration.
Yeah. The food the food they eat always looks so good, and their clothes always look so comfy.
Could you not? That's... She's like getting into the 3D printing wires.
Jeez.
Could
Now,
you not?
is one of the cats new?
Yes, this little one, she is new to the world in that she's only 4 months old, but she's also new to my house in that she's only a month. She's only lived here a month.
Okay. I thought so.
I adopted a new kitten. My friend Danny rescued a cat, and she ended up being pregnant. And then he found out that he was allergic to cats. So they needed to find homes. And I have this little one right here, a senior cat that is very, she has separation anxiety.
Okay.
And from the pandemic, she has gotten much worse. So now it's not just she doesn't like leaving, or she doesn't like being home when I leave. Now she doesn't like even being in a room by herself.
Oh, dear.
So now I got the kitten as sort of a companion, and it's actually worked out pretty well so far.
That's awesome.
they've been, getting close, bonding, definitely keeping each other entertained. Although I am a little worried that now the kitten's going to get social anxiety because the pandemic still isn't over, obviously. And now the kitten has been around me so much that it's slowly getting to the point where the kitten's going to be the one. She cries if I because she's not allowed in the basement because there's open pipes. So if I go in the basement, she's just standing at the top of the stairs behind the closed door, screaming her head off.
Oh.
You left me. Why did you leave me? You said you promised you'd take care of me. So she's a little drama. But yes, so that is why I got the new kitten. That is why I got a kitten specifically, because my cat is very territorial,
nice
but was not.
I said that was really nice, so that you were able to not only adopt from your friend, but to get a companion for that cat.
We'll see how things progress. If I never leave my house again, even after the pandemic, it might be because I'm too much of a softie and I can't with these crying cats.
I'm sorry, this is where I live now. You have to come to me.
Right, exactly. That's the story of my life.
And Randall, you have a Nelson. That's like having a pet.
Oh, it's very much like having a cat.
Wow. Harsh. Harsh truths we're spouting out here.
If I go to the grocery store, he'll walk through the house and be like, Mom, where'd you go? Mom.
Is he working from home?
No, he actually works at Target.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. I'm positive you told me, but like I said, brain worms. Has that been nuts for him?
Oh, yeah. Especially lately because it was holiday season, so people are extra stupid coming into stores during holiday time.
Yeah. That's fun.
But he wasn't just working there for the holiday season?
Right. He's been there since August.
Okay.
Just pretend you didn't see me redraw that leg 20 times.
I don't even have to pretend. I didn't see it.
Yeah, no,
Because you're currently redrawing a neck 50 times.
There's a blue cord underneath. Can you charge your phone? Yep. It's underneath the coffee table. There's a black one there too. You can talk. There are my glasses on, so maybe not.
That is not the right layer. What is the right layer? Where's the right layer? I think that's my problem is I'll get frustrated sometimes because I can't find the right layer. So I'm like, meh, and I make a new layer.
Oh, I was working
on
on a piece.
The majority of my layers are that.
And I was the same thing. I should have just had one layer on the top and done a certain thing from there and then add the colors. No, I literally just kept stacking new layers on it because I was like, ugh, I don't want to bother going and finding that one. I'll just put a new I had 20 layers at one point and I was like, what are you doing? You made this so much harder for yourself than you needed to.
Meh, I'll take a break and during my dinner I'll go ahead and go through my layers. And then I don't. That's not how you draw a curve. How you draw a curve.
Which I don't know if you knew this, Emily, because you don't really use the new Photoshop, but they finally made it so that you can just click something on your canvas and it will automatically go to that layer instead of you having to find it in your layer drop downs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Corel does that. And I was like, oh, this is dope. I enjoy this.
Oh, you mean auto select, Randall?
Yeah.
That's always been in Photoshop. You just got to check it on.
Oh, well, excuse me, princess.
Sorry.
In my days of using... Yeah, in my days of using Photoshop 7 and CS2.
What up, CS2? Shout out. That was my favorite and one I used for so long.
I was CS3. So if you have the move tool selected, up at the very top left of the move tool, you have auto select. It's by default checked on for CEC, but it's default checked off for CS.
Yep.
If you check it on, then yes, anything in your document, you can click and it'll select it and move it for you. If that's checked off, it will only ever, by your layer. So that is auto select. And then you also have the show transform controls, which you can then, so I'm assuming that's what you meant. This has been Photoshop 101. Come back next week. We'll go over layer masks or clipping masks.
It's gotten to the point. It's one of those where I always think of Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec, where he's like, it's gotten to the point now where it's been so long that I'm too afraid to ask. Like, I'm too afraid to ask about layer masks because it's been so long where I should have known them and I just don't. But then I'm like, nah, I don't need it. I'll just do it this way. Would it probably be easier? 100%. Nope. Still just going to move around it. It's fine. All right. So that's, hey, let's name that. All right. So this is the.
Yeah, I use the simplified version of those just to do shading and whatnot.
Clipping masks?
Yep.
I forwent learning about layer masks for a really long, an embarrassingly long time. And then I finally started to use them and I never turned back. I was like, this is the holy grail. Like, how did I even survive? What was I doing? I know what I was doing. I was doing all these convoluted, nonsense things. But it took me forever to sit down and all right, I really should just know this nonsense.
And I think because these programs are so dense and they have so much, I think that's a big part of it, where you have to spend some time wrapping your head around the stuff that you're comfortable with and really kind of getting that before you can then add on and put even more in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's also, I found a lot, because again, I teach Photoshop, so I'm able to see students learning these things for the first time, and I kin it a lot to math, where when you're learning a formula or something, it has to click. It's not a slow progression. It literally is a switch in your brain. It clicks, and you're like, oh, I get it. You get that. And as soon as that switch clicks, you can almost visually see it in their eyes. There you go. You understand. You get this concept. So layer masks, even though theoretically they don't work anything like math, psychologically they do. I've always found
I think
it's an either or. It's an on or an off. They get it or they don't. This weird thing. And then, of course, I prance around pretending oh, yes, no, I've always known how to use layer masks. I didn't just learn such and such for this class. No, not at all.
God, I remember being so intimidated by the first Photoshop class in college because we had not had it in high school. I had maybe touched it once, and I was so woefully behind everybody else in class. And I'm just like, I don't get this at all.
Oh.
Hey, kids, look at me now.
See, you too can learn. Make it so you make it.
Hey, kids, look at me now. I'm not even using Photoshop.
I'm not even using Photoshop. I've moved beyond it.
Beneath you.
I do miss it. I do. Then there's some stuff that, no. Adobe makes good products. There's some stuff about it that is really dope. And again, at the times when if it didn't cost so much money, I would have happily invested in it, but I didn't have that option.
So apparently it's time to take a break for me because I have a kitty in my lap.
Well, I was thinking it's 4:30, which is right around the time when I usually wrap up, and we've been going for I can't even look at the thing now, but we've been going for a while. So what did I do? I don't know what I just did. Yeah, so if we want to outro quick, let me figure out how I'm going to do this. All right, hang on.
I just hear a lot of banging and crashing in the background. Like, let's figure this out.
Oh, yeah. I came back where it was. It's fine, Karen. It's fine. There. I don't even know what it looks like. Okay, here, now I can switch over to the other screen. All right. Okay, so let me do this. Wait, I can do this. Is that Nicole? Boom. There we go. So if you would like to see more Twitch streaming from Kristen, follow her there. That's her Twitch handle. Yay! Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just made it a few days ago, so there's literally nothing on there yet.
That's okay. At least they can follow you.
That's true. I am learning about all this stuff. I want to draw more live because I feel like it would pressure me to actually do more art.
Yeah, it does. I can confirm. I get more stuff done when I have to do it on stream. So that's also her Instagram. If you'd like to follow her over there, as it stands right now, should I have pulled this up sooner so I could look at it? Sure, but that's not how I do it on this stream. Here's the thing. So Saturday, January 16th, which is coming up sooner than I think it should. So literally 8 days from now is our official next Doodle Crew. So that will be we're calling it the Saturday morning cartoon stream. So that one's going to start at 11 a.m. So that's the next time you'll see all of us together. I will be here next week on Friday again. So I will remind you all of that as well. But yeah, switch that on. That's the next one we've got planned for all of us together. So then let me switch over. Yeah, find it. Here's it. There we go. So there's Randall. You want to follow Randall on Instagram? Yay! And see his art, which we may or may not post. May or may not. We'll see.
Yeah, Tumblr's the better bet for art. Instagram, you get some art and you get some thirst pics and selfies.
Which I have, and I didn't put it in there because I'm a dodo. Wait, I have it. Right? Yeah, that's you. Okay. And aha! There we go. So there's the Tumblr.
Hey.
Yay! That's
a
a fancy little thing you got going on there.
Yeah, I like StreamYard for being able to switch and put all those up. And then like I had the ticker going at the bottom, which ran. Yeah, no, it's a decent program. I like it a lot.
Yeah, my drag queen friends use that for like bingo and things, and they have the banner running along the bottom for like Venmos and things like that for all the people on the stream.
Yeah, no, it's super, super handy. So yeah, okay. And then I think I'll do that's me, but you guys already know that. You can find me there at all the things. I'm trying to think of other, like I said, I'll be in the Doodle Crew on Saturday. Let me look at the calendar. I feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, as far as other stuff, there is no in addition stream this Monday. We're doing alternate Mondays, so back again with that on the 18th. But I'll obviously be in chat for Wednesday's ADD. There we go. Yeah, then I think just next. Yeah, so it'll be next Friday for my personal stream and then Saturday for the Doodle Crew. They'll give me a couple days off to get the last of stuff figured out and set. And yeah, I think that's cool. So this is good. So yeah, and this should save. Sorry, I'm really just figuring things out. My brain. But yeah, thank you guys. This was so much fun to have people here with me. Yeah, and I'm so happy that the picture. Thank you for figuring that out. It's amazing.
And I'm so happy that it sort of turned into an impromptu Sailor Moon because I will never complain about that.
Yeah, that was dope, and I'm very happy about this. Oh, your Mercury looks so sweet.
I know, isn't she pretty? She's so cute.
Awesome. Oh, I guess
a pink turtleneck.
Here, I'll do this real quick because I didn't do it before. Here, and
Oh,
there
she's
we
got
go.
sushi pajamas.
Yeah, she does.
I love that.
That was my relaxing Venus and Artemis. So
Super cute sushi pajamas.
yeah, I was like, oh, they got to be super cute. Like I've got to figure out something that's just adorable. And then I was like, wait, how do colors work? Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone in chat. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.